Hi, everybody, and welcome to Thirst for Knowledge, where the trivia is fresh, the jokes are terrible, and good times are always had. I'm your host and traveling quizmaster, Eric. Well, welcome to episode 3 of Video Trivia from across America, Missouri and Kansas edition. Missouri provided a lot of entertainment from start to finish, and Kansas actually was the first new state, the first state that I hadn't been to ever in my life before. Even the states that I had been to, I try to do new things, that I haven't done, but I hadn't been to Kansas at all, so that was sort of the new frontier for me. Missouri, I spent a couple of days in St. Louis. I went spelunking, really just kind of walked around a cave, but I got a private tour of the Meramec Caverns. That was incredible. One of the top 5 moments of the trip for sure. I probed Uranus. You'll figure out what that's about later in the video. And I ate way too much food. I spent too much money on food. I ate too much food. I spent too much time thinking about food, and I have no regrets at all. It was absolutely fantastic. So I think you guys will enjoy this video quite a lot. I think it's actually the best one yet. So I really do hope you enjoy. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to share it and help me grow this thing, and let's get a national following. That'd be really great. But a couple of notes from last week. I've got my note card here. Congratulations to Lori C. from Washington, D.C. You were our random prize winner from week 2. Your souvenir from across America will be on its way shortly. I actually gave out 2 prizes, though. We had a hidden audio round. So a couple of you were saying, Eric, aren't you going to do like an audio round? Where's the music round? Well, I did have an audio round. The opening credits are going to feature a song every week, and the first person to message me with the band or the artist for that song gets a bonus point. And last week it was Johnny F., also from Washington, D.C. He was the first one to point out that it was Spoon, and he is correct. And so not only do you get a bonus point, but since you were the first one, you will receive a prize too. So we got 2 prizes going to Washington, D.C. this week. What else? Oh, last week I talked about the word Hoosier and how it came from a Native American word for corn, Hoosa. I think that is not true, or that is a rumor. I did some more research, and there are all sorts of explanations for where the word Hoosier came from, and we don't really know which one is the one, but it's probably not the one that I stated. So if you liked your answer from last week and you didn't give yourself the bonus point, go ahead and give yourself a bonus point this week. I think that's the only fair way to do it. Speaking of botched questions, oh my gosh, guys, I talked about Dr. Pepper this week. It's my favorite drink, and I incorrectly stated that Dr. Pepper was invented in St. Louis, Missouri. I know it was invented in Waco, Texas in 1885. What I was trying to say, the fact that I confused, is that it was introduced to America at the St. Louis World's Fair, the 1904 World's Fair. That's where Dr. Pepper sort of gained national notoriety. That was the fact I was trying to share, that St. Louis, the great city of St. Louis, brought Dr. Pepper to the rest of the world. But I said that it was invented there, and that is just plain not true. So shame on me for botching a question about Dr. Pepper. Well, that's all I got for you, so we're on to the rules, and then it's going to be Missouri and Kansas trivia. All right, everybody, this is Lefty Rattle here with your rules for video trivia from across the great country of America. All right, so here's how this is going to work. Every Thursday, thereabouts 8 o'clock p.m. I'm going to upload a video onto Instagram, onto Facebook, and onto YouTube. The Wild West of the internet is going to have a copy of this video. You're going to watch that video, and you're going to wrangle yourself some answers to those trivia questions. When you're done, you're going to send those to me. You're going to direct message, you're going to telegraph, you're going to Pony Express. You're going to get your answers to me any way that you see fit. Now, a true cowboy ain't need no help from anybody. So this is the Lonely West when you're doing these trivia questions. The only help you're allowed to receive is from your horse. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you the correct answers. Now, we all good cowboys out here, so this is going to be an honor system, folks. If you think you got the point, you got the point. If you don't, well, you're in a rattlesnake hole, but that's okay. If you're in between, you can give yourself half a point. Like I say, we're all good cowboys out here, and we trust each other. Now, if I hear any rumors about any outlaws out there who be cheating, I'm gonna put your face up on a wanted poster and offer a bonus point to someone to come back with your head, dead or alive. Now, at the end of every week, we're going to be sending one of y'all a random prize. That's right, it's random. All you got to do is submit your score. So even if you only wrangle yourself a couple of points, send your score in, you still might win. Now, of course, this is the final week for a giant prize for the grand stallion of the bunch. That's right, whoever has the most points for weeks 1, 2, and 3 is going to win an extra special souvenir from across America. So, buckle up, it's time for Missouri and Kansas trivia. Hey everyone, I'm here with my buddy Malcolm W. Martin in his Memorial Park. I am in East St. Louis, which is actually in Illinois. It's just on the other side of the Mississippi River, overlooking downtown St. Louis and the Gateway Arch, which I'm going to show you right now. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is downtown St. Louis, the Gateway Arch, the Mississippi River. Some train tracks. I'm going to zoom in here. Look at that. That is the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. So once again, behind me is the Gateway Arch, also known as the Gateway to the West. It's made of stainless steel. It's actually, the presidents are not allowed to travel to the top. The Secret Service won't allow it because it's too much of a confined space. Eisenhower actually is the only one who is allowed. Good for him. Yeah, it's the largest arch in the world. It's the largest monument in the Western Hemisphere. It's truly magnificent. You could take an elevator ride up to the top. I'm not going to get a chance to do that, but it's still stunning to look at. Here we go. Trivia question number 1. The Gateway Arch is the largest monument in the Western Hemisphere. However, is it taller or wider? So is the St. Louis Arch taller or wider? I'm going to give you another close-up of it so you can see. All right, we're zoomed in here for a closer look at the Gateway Arch. Once again, trivia question number 1 from East St. Louis, Illinois. Is the Gateway Arch taller or wider? All right, well, I finally made it into downtown St. Louis. I'm here at Emo's Pizza in Ballpark Village downtown. This is the classic pizza spot in St. Louis. There are over 100 locations. St. Louis actually has a lot of great food traditions. Peanut butter was invented here. So was the ice cream cone. Great story about that. At the World's Fair, an ice cream vendor ran out of cups, and there was a waffle vendor right next to it. And the ice cream guy said, hey, can we roll the waffles up and put the ice cream in it so I can serve ice cream? So that's how the ice cream cone was invented. Dr. Pepper, my favorite, and 7-Up were invented here. That's pretty awesome. They also have the toasted ravioli, which you dip into marinara. I love these. I've ordered a whole basket. That's fantastic. I know I've been eating a lot on camera and chewing, but there's so much good food around the country. And of course, finally, we have the St. Louis style pizza. Now, there are 3 things that make the St. Louis style pizza different than other pizza. 1, it comes on a really thin, almost cracker-like crust. 2, they use a cheese called Provel, which is a cheddar, Swiss, and provolone mixture. It's like a gooey cheese mixture. And then 3, it's cut into squares. It's not cut into the traditional wedges. I got a loaded supreme pizza with bacon, onions, peppers. Delicious. I like it. I'm a big deep dish fan, but the cracker crust is really interesting. So here we go. Trivia question number 2. What ingredient is missing from the pizza that makes the crust so thin? There's something that they don't use. What is that? Ingredient, that's question number 2. Hey everybody, this is your Quizmaster Eric. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri now at the St. Louis Zoo, right next to the underwater hippo exhibit. There are 3 hippopotamuses behind me, all sorts of fish. This is really cool. Hopefully we'll see one of them take a breath while I'm doing this trivia question. An adult hippopotamus can weigh up to 7,000 pounds. Also their bellow, they do these huge cavernous bellows. It can be louder than a heavy metal band playing from 15 feet away. The hippo is also really suited for being underwater for periods of a time. They have a lot of blubber, and it gives them the ability to sort of float and navigate the water better. Also, their eyes and their ears and their nose are on the top of their head, so they can kind of just peek up just to get their nose above the water line, or their ears so they can hear what's going on or take a breath. Hippo can hold its breath for about 5 minutes underwater. So again, hopefully by the time I'm done with this question, one of them will take a breath here. But here we go, your trivia question number 3 from St. Louis, Missouri, from the St. Louis Zoo. It's a pretty simple one, it should be, but we'll see if you can do it. Can you spell the word hippopotamus without looking it up? So that's your question number 3. There we go. There's him taking a breath, just dipping his nose right above the water line so that he can take a breath for 5 more minutes.
All right, and here we've come across a flat rock scorpion. To escape the African desert sun, this flat-bodied scorpion hides between flat rocks, wandering out at night to feed on insects and other scorpions. Scorpions are part of the arachnid class of animals, which also includes spiders, mites, and ticks. When hunting its prey, scorpions grasp it with its pincers and then strike it with this body part. I'm not looking for tail or stinger. I'm looking for the specific name for that stinger on a scorpion. So question number 4 from the St. Louis Zoo. What is the stinger of a scorpion called?
Okay. So I've got another favorable snack review. Obviously, Diet Dr. Pepper makes a great snack, but Harvest Snaps. Harvest Snaps, these are red lentil snack crisps. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. There you go. Harvest Snaps red lentil snap crisps, tomato basil. They're sort of like tomato basil Cheetos. They're not quite as dense as a Cheeto. They're more like a cheese puff. I like those. Those are light. I feel like I could eat this whole bag, and I'd feel like I ate some food. But if I ate a whole bag of Cheetos, then I would be really, really sick. You know, I can't handle a whole bag of Cheetos anymore. What I like about them too is they give you like the Cheeto dust, but it's lentil dust, or it's really tomato basil dust is what it is. And that's pretty cool. I like that. So I like these. There's 4 facts on the back. Baked, never fried. That probably makes it healthier. Made from real red lentils. Okay, cool. 50% less fat than a potato chip. That's why I don't feel sick after eating them. And found in the produce aisle. And that's just a brag. Found in the I mean, I get that that's where they put them in the grocery store. But if I left this bag on the street here, it wouldn't. Found in the produce aisle, a little bit of an exaggeration because they don't know that for sure. Anyway, these are delicious. Obviously, I'm going to ask you a question about lentils. Here we go. Question number 5, coming to you from a Walmart parking lot. Lentils are a type of plant, And I want you to tell me what that category of plant is. And I'll give you two other things in the category: peanuts and chickpeas. So peanuts, chickpeas, and lentils are all part of a category of plant. What is that category? And that's a delicious question number 5.
Hey everybody, it's your quiz master here again for question 6. I'm coming to you from the Meramec Caverns in the Ozarks, Missouri. This place is magnificent. The pictures in the video just don't do it justice. I'm here getting a private tour of these wondrous caverns. Behind me you can see a really interesting rock formation. What's happening here is the water actually has acid in it, and it's dissolving the limestone and making this carrot-like formation. So my trivia question to you, question number 6, is what is this called behind me? This thing going from top to bottom, and there's another one going from bottom to top. You need to know which one is which for this question, okay? So which one goes from top to bottom and which one goes from bottom to top? That's question number 6. The best fudge comes from Uranus. That's the motto here at the Uranus Fudge Factory in St. Robert, Missouri. Guys, this place is one of a kind. We've got a fudge factory, we've got a novelty store, we've got a tattoo parlor, we've got a music stage, we have got a circus sideshow. Unfortunately, it is nighttime and I just missed the sideshow. I wish I was here during the day because this place looks like a wild adventure. But since we're in Uranus, I've got to ask a question about the planet Uranus. We're talking about the 7th planet of the solar system. Now, I know it's really pronounced Uranus, or there's some controversy over how it's pronounced. But I was thinking about it, and Uranus has the word urine in it, so to me, that's just as inappropriate. But since we're in Uranus, I'm gonna call it Uranus. Here we go, question number 7. Uranus is the 7th planet in the solar system. It is the coldest planet in the solar system. It's got an ice and rock core and cold gases surrounding it. It's got 13 rings, little baby rings. They're not quite as magnificent as the planet Saturn, but there's one other fact that makes Uranus a little bit different and unique amongst the planets. So what is that fact? Once again, coming to you from Uranus, where it's pretty wild. All right, so now I'm in Springfield, Missouri, back on Route 66, and I had to stop at Red's Giant Hamburg. It is a classic stop on the route. It was actually closed for 35 years, and it reopened in 2019, just in time for me to come on and stop by. I'm gonna give you a little clip here of the ambiance. My table is a giant record. That's pretty cool. Look at all these funky chairs and funky lights. The decor in here is just wild. I love it. I am so excited to get my food in just a moment. Oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited for this food. I'm gonna zoom in for you. This is the Super Burger. It's a burger. It's got ham and bacon. That looks delicious. This is called a Frito pie. It's a big pile of Fritos with chili, cheese, and onions. Both of those look delicious. And of course they have Diet Dr. Pepper. It feels like every other place in the country other than Ohio has Diet Dr. Pepper. Come on, Ohio, get it together. Yeah, this is my kind of food. I am just messing this up right now. That is fantastic. Look, it's Fritos and chili. Guys, that was delicious. It really was. But that was too much food. Oh, that was too much food. It was worth it, but that was too much food. All right,
right, guys. Well, despite the fact that I want to take a nap because I just pounded so much delicious food, I do have enough energy for one trivia question. This is trivia question number 8, coming to you from Springfield, Missouri, from Red's Giant Hamburg. In addition to being a delicious stop on historic Route 66, Red's Giant Hamburg holds a really interesting piece of American history, being the first restaurant to ever have what? So that's right, Red's Giant Hamburg is the first restaurant in the world to have one particular thing. What is that thing? All right, for question 9, I'm coming to you from Joplin, Missouri. I'm very close to the Kansas border, very excited to go into Kansas, but for now I'm in Joplin, and if it looks like I'm standing in front of a regular house, well, I'm actually standing in front of the Bonnie and Clyde Garage Apartment Hideout from 1933. That's right, when Bonnie and Clyde were on the run, they spent some time here in Joplin, Missouri, hiding in this very apartment behind me. They holed up with Clyde's family, the Barrow Gang, and they hid out for actually a couple of months. But on April 13th, 1933, the Joplin detective Harry McGinnis and the Newton County constable caught on to these bootleggers, and they tried to break into the house and capture them. But of course, Bonnie and Clyde were prepared, and they opened fire, and they actually killed both the Joplin detective and the Newton County constable and got away. What's interesting about this, though, is either, the day before or at some point before this happened, Bonnie and Clyde were goofing around with some photos, with some Kodak film, posing with their guns and making these bad photos. And when they left in a hurry, they left this film behind. And so when the media got a hold of this, and oh my gosh, there were these killings and Bonnie and Clyde are on the run, they had these epic photos of Bonnie and Clyde, holding their guns. And so my question to you is going to be to identify one of the guns that Bonnie and Clyde used. There were a lot of different guns that they used, but there were a couple popular ones, but there's one in particular that you should be able to recognize, and I'm going to post a photo of it right now. But again, question 9, identify the gun. All right, well, if you're wondering why I haven't done any questions in Kansas yet, if you're sitting there thinking, hey, wait a minute, this is Missouri and Kansas trivia, and you've done 9 questions from Missouri. Well, Route 66 only passes through a little corner of Kansas. I'm only actually in Kansas for about 20 minutes, so that's why it only gets 1 question. But lo and behold, I'm here in Galena, Kansas. It's a classic Route 66 town, kind of one street, which is Route 66, that goes right through it. Nice little downtown. Just what you'd imagine from the movie Cars. They actually have a lot of Cars exhibits, kind of like a little touristy thing. But I am actually here at what I found was the most interesting part of Galena, which is Galena's Murder Bordello. That's right, behind me is Galena's Murder Bordello in Galena, Kansas. Now, a bordello is like another name for a brothel. That's right, this is a murder brothel. I'm so disappointed that they're not doing tours right now. I mean, I came in the off season, so I guess it's to be expected. But I really wanted to take a tour of this place. Apparently, it was run by the Bloody Madam, whose name was Ma Staffelbach. And she and her sons murdered between 30 and 50 people here. In the 1800s, Galena was a heavy mining town, and it was very common for mining towns in the 1800s to have brothels and saloons and the like. And miners would come here after their shift and indulge with a woman of the night and occasionally get murdered by the Bloody Madam. They would dump the bodies in the mine shaft to make it look like a mining accident. But this is pretty wild. The house was actually really run down. It's been repainted and kind of renovated a little bit to preserve it and make a museum out of it. I'm going to show you a couple close-ups of a couple cool features of this house. Again, unfortunately, I didn't get to take a tour inside, but here are a couple close-ups. Here is a very ominous symbol, a murder of crows overlooking Galina's murder bordello. So this is the front of the murder bordello. I'm gonna zoom in on this particular window here. This is a stained glass window that appears on the front of the building. And over to the side, we have this black fountain here. All right, that is Galina's murder bordello for you. But I do have a trivia question. On to trivia question number 10. This is just some general Kansas trivia. The name Kansas comes from the Native American Kansa tribe, who were known as the people of the what? And I'll give you a hint. It is a type of weather. So people from Kansas, you know, the name Kansas means people of the blank. And it is a type of weather. What is that type of weather? That's very, very common here in Kansas. And the name Kansas means people of the blank. All right, well, that concludes episode 3 of Video Trivia from Across America, Missouri and Kansas edition. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed putting it all together for you. Once again, also from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the support, you know, on this trip, both financial and just liking the posts and sharing the videos. I really appreciate it. That is the number one way you can support Thirst for Knowledge, is by sharing this video to get as many people to participate as possible. I'm going to give you the answers in a second. We're going to give another random prize away this week, so even if you get one right, send your score in because you'll be eligible for a random prize. But after this week, I'll add the first 3 weeks together, and I'll give a top prize or 2 out for the overall top scorers. I will allow you to go back and do episodes 1 and 2 if you haven't yet. So say you're just tuning in for episode 3 now, or you missed episode 2, you still can go back and complete it and send me your score to be eligible for the prize. I will make that allowance, but here we go on to the answers. Number 1, is the Gateway Arch taller or wider? That was a trick question. It is the same. It is 630 feet tall and 630 feet wide. That was a dirty trick question. Sorry about that one. Number 2, Emo's Pizza doesn't have yeast. It doesn't have yeast, and that's why the bread doesn't rise, and that's why it's a cracker-like crust. It's basically matzo pizza, in my opinion. But there we go. Yeast was the answer to number 2. Number 3, all you had to do was spell hippopotamus without looking it up. Hopefully you could do it. It's Hippopotamus. So it's hippopotamus. Potamus. Maybe you said potomus or potamus, but it's hippopotamus. Hippopotamus. Number 4, the stinger on a scorpion is called the telson, Telson. That was kind of an interesting trivia one that I didn't know, but the telson is the name of the stinger on a scorpion. Number 5, lentils, peanuts, and chickpeas are all legumes. Legumes is what I was looking for there. Number 6, okay, if you had just the words, you get half a point, but if you had which one was which, you get the full credit. The one going from top to bottom like an icicle is a stalactite. The one coming up from the bottom is a stalagmite. The way you can remember that, or the way I do, is T for top. Stalactite is the one on the top. Tight on top. I don't know. It's what helps me. Okay, number 7. Honestly, I can't wait to go back to Uranus. I'm going to have to go back to Uranus during the day so that I can get the full experience in Uranus. But I really do want to go back to Uranus. Okay, what is unique about Uranus? It rotates on its side. So it is the only planet to rotate on its side. That's what I was looking for. I guess theoretically, if you had some crazy fact about Uranus and you want to message me and say, hey, I deserve credit, I'll allow it. But that's kind of the classic thing about Uranus that everyone knows. And for number 8, we've got a special video. So exciting.
Thank you for choosing Reddit. You can take your order whenever you're ready.
Yes, can I please have a small ice cream cone?
All right. Do you want a cake cone or a waffle cone?
Let's go with a waffle cone.
All right. And what kind of flavor can I get you?
Ooh, what do you have?
I have vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry, butter pecan, chocolate chip cookie dough, Moose Tracks, White House cherry, lime sherbet, orange sherbet, and Rocky Road.
Awesome. Let's do a chocolate chip cookie dough.
Is there anything else I can get for you?
No, that's all.
All right. It's going to be $2.15 at the second window.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the answer to number 8 is drive-through. Red's Giant Hamburg has the first ever drive-through in America and presumably the world. I'm about to pay for my ice cream cone here. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Enjoy. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Look at that, the first ever drive-through. Oh, delicious. I love it. All right, so again, number 8 is drive-through is what we were looking for. Number 9, the picture of that gun after the trivia question is a Tommy gun. A Tommy gun, and that's actually Clyde's Tommy gun that he used there. If you had shotgun, I'll give you half a point, only because in those pictures I described, Bonnie actually had a shotgun. So if you were familiar and you said shotgun, but the gun that I showed, the identified the gun, was a Tommy gun. So if you got Tommy gun, that's a point. Shotgun, half a point. And number 10, Kansas, means people of the wind. People of the wind. Wind is that type of weather. Actually, Chicago is not the windiest city. It's Dodge City, Kansas. Now, a couple of you may have said tornado. Well, a tornado is wind. So, the answer is wind for that one. People of the wind. Well, anyway, that's all I got for you. Send me your score. And remember, this is Thirst for Knowledge, where the trivia is fresh, the jokes are terrible, and good times are always had. I'm your host and traveling quizmaster, Eric, helping you learn something new every day.